I'm future Shauvon. Well, technically, I'm present Shauvon because this is right now. Well, technically, you're in my future, so you're watching me, so I'm past Shauvon. Well, whatever. The point is, I'm the Shauvon who has been building Giant Truck for several months since my last update, because I haven't been doing a good job keeping updated with everything. But the point is, I have knowledge and experience and wisdom, and I sort of have read ahead a little bit, so I know a bit more about what's going on. I'm here to talk to you about, what was it, Step 7? Yeah, 7. Step 7. What progress we've made. Hey, you're the one who hasn't been making any updates. Fair enough. So, our first video, was pretty boring, I think. It ran kind of long. It was long and pretty dumb. Anyway, I'm hoping to spice this one up through the power of editing, which I'm not sure how you're going to do without, like, Adobe Premiere or something. Hey, whose fault is it that I, future Shauvon, don't have the money for that? Could we just do the thing? Yes, we're getting off track. We have to introduce you now without it being too awkward. Awkward is kind of our wheelhouse. True. Just act natural. Oh, hello. Crushed it. So natural. I'm past Shauvon. Well, technically I'm recording this after I recorded that, so I'm also future Shauvon. Well, technically, I think they get it. Right. So, I'm playing the role of the Shauvon from several months ago, who's about to get started on Step 7 of Giant Truck. So, here I am, just finished Step 6, made a really long video about it, yes, but everything's going great so far. I've only had to improvise one piece, and otherwise I have a lot of parts laying around, so I'm pretty confident. What? Oh, no, don't mind me. You know something I don't? That is the conceit of this dumb little joke, yes. Well, let's find out, shall we? I mean, eventually, yes, I'm gonna hit the inevitable roadblock of just not having the parts that I need. But I have a lot of pieces laying around, and this is only the 7th step, so hopefully I can get through it with pretty much the same success that I got through Step 6. Time will tell. Oh, hey, here, why don't you use my ridiculously cool tablet computer from the future to look it up? Wow, the future's full of crazy gadgets like this, huh? Sure is. Cool. I feel just like an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay, let's take a look at the instructions for Step 7, and then we'll see just how many parts, crap. Time has told. So, I need some more of those 1x8 plates with toothed end mounts. Pretty sure I have these other parts, but not those. So, for the first time in the construction of Giant Truck, but not the last, progress is going to be halted until I can come up with these parts. How do I do that, you might ask? How do I do that? So, you have a couple options. Okay. As we mentioned in an earlier post, these 1x8s with toothed end mounts were featured in 23 different sets. Including Giant Truck. You'll have to buy one of those. And that is why you have no money for Adobe Premiere. That and all those ridiculously cool future gadgets. At least you're saving money on all those haircuts you haven't gotten. Hey, you have no idea how rough the next couple of months are going to be for you. Huh? Timeline jokes. 23 sets though. There ought to be something cool in there. There is. The coolest of which would be 8868 AirTech Claw Rig, which came out in 1992. Cool name. It's a super sweet truck with a crane on the back, or some kind of car thing with like a grabber on the front. Or a lot of other things, since it's, you know, Lego. Right. Now, that set was originally $139. Interestingly, they came out with a set in '12, which was sort of a modern interpretation of it, which I could tell you about if it came up naturally in the conversation. Say, didn't they come out with an updated one of those back in '12? Crushed it. Yeah, 9397 logging truck, which came out in '12 and was, wait for it, $139. It's also hell of more awesome than AirTech Claw Rig, if you ask me. So I think it goes without saying that Lego has not gotten more expensive over the years. Except for inflation. Shut up. The new one also has a lot more parts than the one from 1992. Oh hey, Claw Rig is going for $105 on Bricklink. I'm just a naive, clean-cut, younger version of you, so I've never tried Bricklink before. Crushed it. The cheapest prices are from Europe. Is the shipping reasonable to buy things from Europe? Oh. So, 100 some. Kind of a lot just to get a few pieces. Although, I can probably use a bunch of other parts from it. Plus, then I'll have a super sweet claw rig to play with. How old are you? How old are you? Now, there's another truck with crane option, if you prefer. 8854 power crane. Picture. This one came out way back in 1989, and, well, not a looker. Yeah, it's not a looker. Now, I do think it's cool that they were using those pneumatic functions way back in 1989, and, they're still kind of using those today. They're different, but the pieces are similar, so I think that's pretty sweet. That one's only like $70 on Bricklink. Oh, from the Netherlands. Okay, so what other cranes are there? It's funny you should ask. Crushed it. Those Lego designers sure do love cranes. And ferries. So here's another crane. 8438 power crane from 2003. It was actually a re-release of 8431, which was in 2002. And that was a re-release of 8460 from 1995. The early 2000s were a weird time. Pneumatic crane truck is a bit less truck than AirTech Claw Rig, but it's a bit more crane, so it's kind of a trade-off. It does, just like AirTech Claw Rig and the power crane that came before it, the pneumatic crane truck does take advantage of the titular pneumatic functions to operate. It's smaller than AirTech Claw Rig though, so it originally retailed for about $85, so it was a bit cheaper. So these days though, you can find it on Bricklink for... Oh, sorry. We're doing a great job. Let's see. Pneumatic crane truck looks to be in the $70 range too, from the Netherlands. I really like the look of pneumatic crane truck. I know, right? When I put myself in the shoes of younger me, no, I mean like 12-year-old me. Oh, right. It's a tough choice between pneumatic crane truck and AirTech Claw Rig. So what if I want to go really vintage? Well, there's 8054 Universal Motor Set from 1989. That's the same level of vintage that Power Crane was. Yeah, but this one just kind of feels more vintage to me. It's been a while since they've come out with one of these. Here's a whole bunch of parts, and maybe some suggestions of stuff you can do with these parts sets, especially in the Technic line. This Universal Motor Set has a car, and a crane, and another car, and a helicopter. Plus anything else you can make with it, since it's Lego, right? Now, some collectors might be drooling over these old school motors that come in this set. Is it in giant truck? No. Then I'm not one of those. The good news is the Universal Motor Set is only $45. From the US. Oh. There are cheaper options if you're going to be cheap. Don't go cheap on me, Dotson. Good one. So you've got 8829 Doom Blaster from 1994. Yeah, that looks like the one I had when I was a kid. Oh, that was 8230 Coastal Cop Buggy. Unfortunately, that one doesn't have the parts that we'll need. The Doom Blaster has an engine and suspension, which ours also doesn't have. It's kind of neat. Oh, and it's only $17 from the US. That's also kind of neat. If you're really a cheapotron, though, the best choice might be 5279 steering elements, plates, and gear racks. Wow, cool. Now, what I don't get is why they sold these. I mean, every set back in the day had these steering elements in them, so I don't know why you would need more steering elements. Maybe you're trying to build a giant truck. It is pretty boring, though, and it's not even the cheapest option, really. If you're an Omega cheapotron, you might just be about to say, hey, just go out and buy all the parts separately, dummy. Yeah, I was about to say that. I can get some of them on Bricklink for like 7 cents a piece. Now, most places on Bricklink have a minimum total that you have to meet in order to place an order. I bet there might be a few other pieces that we're going to need for Giant Truck that I can go ahead and throw into the order. Yeah, but I don't know about just ordering individual pieces. It just feels a bit cheap. Cheapotron. I mean, sure, you could just go on Bricklink, order all the parts, And then by the time you're me, you'll have a super sweet giant truck that you can play with. Sounds good. Then you'll lose all the excitement of showing how universal all the parts can be. You know, there's something really fascinating about putting together this big, you mean giant. There's something really fascinating about just putting together this giant truck just with parts you've scavenged out of other sets. Plus, you know, this may or may not just be an excuse for me to go out and buy all of these old sets I lusted after when I was just a poor child. Now that I'm a rich child, I can do all those things I always wanted to do. Which is pretty much exclusively buying Legos, yes. I don't know. I mean, what's the difference really, I guess, between buying old sets and buying old parts? Aside from how much it's going to ultimately cost, I guess. Yeah, if this is really a hot rod in the garage project, you know, maybe we should just buy the parts and make it happen. Yeah, but that is a pretty sweet claw rig. It is a pretty sweet claw rig. I'm just gonna buy the claw rig, aren't I? Spoilers? Well, I didn't really make much progress in this video, did I? And your next video is really just all about the claw rig. Spoilers? Your next video is just gonna mainly be about whatever set you end up buying, so you're not gonna make a whole lot of progress then either. Our fans are really gonna be alienated by all this content that isn't about Giant Truck. Oh, I was so naive back then, thinking I had fans. How do we end this thing? I think we just say goodbye. Make it natural, though. Oh. Goodbye. Crushed it. Huh? Shauvon, I'm you! Actually from the future! Listen, I've come to warn you. Both. You know how you never eat chicken salad because you're not sure if you like it or not? Yeah? Well, you like it a lot! Okay then. So long. Take it easy. It's a tough choice between AirTech claw rig and pneumatic train truck. It's a tough choice between pneumatic train. I keep saying train.